Hello, my name is Abe, and today we're going to be taking a look at Wizard of Legend 2, the demo, the sequel to Contingent 99's acclaimed Wizard of Legend. Now, I have played quite a bit of Wizard of Legend 1, but it was never recorded. It was just for personal satisfaction. And if you've never seen Wizard of Legend, well, Wizard of Legend 1 is an action dungeon crawler rogue-lite filled with pixel graphics, style, and humor, mainly in the form of puns. But instead of an Enter the Gungeon, where you obtain guns to shoot enemies, or an Isaac, where you accumulate tons of items to enhance your tiers, in Wizard of Legend, you use your spells, or Arcana, to attack your foes. Arcana, such as the Wind Slash, your most basic of air spell, which has unlimited uses and no cooldown, it's just however fast your combo is. Arcana such as the Frost Feint Dash, which creates an icy decoy to confuse enemies and also freeze them should they actually hit the decoy itself. A Fire Arcana like Dragon Arc, which creates intertwining dragons which burn your foes. Or an Earth Arcana like Rock and Roll, which creates rock saw blades for some reason. And with hundreds of Arcana, each with their own visual style, runs and up with enough variety to keep you coming back for more. And this is an incomplete spellbook, by the way. I want to run through maybe the first level of a run just to show off the overall gameplay. And I'll be using the Aqua Arc Basic, again, which has no cooldown, the Searing Rush Dash, which burns foes, the Bouncing Surge Lightning Arcana, which bounces between enemies and shocks them, and the Seismic Entry Arcana, which causes the player to jump into the enemies and hit them with a Rocky Barrage. Arcana can be upgraded. So for instance, our Bouncing Surge can bounce more times and shock for a longer duration if we have the enhanced version. It's like a Slay the Spire upgrade system where you have one upgrade per card, per Arcana card. The only thing that you cannot replace during a run is your signature. It is your signature, but your signature also has a special ability. The blue bar underneath your health bar, if it gets charged up, you can cast a signature for enhanced value, because normally this fourth spell of ours is one smash. With the signature, it's 3 smashes. And I'll show you a little bit here about how the game actually plays when you're in a level. Earth boss, fire boss, wind boss. There are 5 elements in Wizard of Legend, and you can randomly get any of those bosses in any order. You're not always gonna have Earth boss first. He might be the 3rd boss. He might not even appear on your run. As you wander around the level, you will find enemies that you need to take out. That guy has a shield. I don't really want to attack him right now. As you do damage, the yellow marker will increase. That's the one under your health. That's your signature charge. As you do damage, it'll power up, and then you can actually launch your special. These are like weird armored blob enemies. Very interesting. I've never seen these before. I've not played a lot of Wizard of Legend. I've never streamed it or anything like that. Additionally, what are you? You hit me with like an earth attack. Additionally, back when I played Wizard of Legend, just like for personal time, I did have a complaint about the game, a couple of complaints about the game. One of which was that there wasn't a lot of enemy variety. It feels like there's actually more enemy variety these days. Because while there are different types of enemies, there was a mage enemy there that you saw, there's armored enemies that have like sword attacks, there was a dude with a bow. My big problem with this enemy system is that there's actually like 25 different forms of each of these enemies. Because for each mage, for instance, there's Earth Mage, Fire Mage, Water Mage, Lightning Mage, Wind Mage, and then General Mage. And then there's different versions of the mages depending on which level you're in. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Because we're in level 1 right now in the first zone fighting the first boss in the first Earth area. So because there's so many different variants of the same enemy, it got very confusing to remember where you are in the game, which enemies you're fighting, what version of the enemies they are, what level of the enemies they are, because they all have different attacks. And my big problem was that it was actually really hard to remember what the hell was actually happening if all of the enemies just kind of look the same and are the same, but only very slightly different. It looks like there's more enemy variety in the game right now, which is nice. And maybe they've done a little bit of work making the enemies a little bit more unique, which would be amazing. I don't know. But this is Wizard of Legend 1. It's a actually really, really well done, put together game. This lady, one of the shops here, we can give her one of our Arcana, she'll give us an item. I don't really want to do that right now, because I need abilities. This is a chest, as you can tell. The plant enemies, they've existed in the game since forever, that's not new. But it looks like they were doing some sort of, like every earth enemy can poison, that's their special ability. The ice enemies can freeze you, of course. This guy just jumps. And if you're really special, you can make him jump into a pit. The North says, man, this game is actually really cool. I don't know why I couldn't get into it. I couldn't stand all the running back and forth and box hunting for cash, but that shouldn't ruin the game. I just never wanted to start the game after playing 1 or 2 sessions. You're not wrong. Originally, when the game was released, there was not as much of a waypoint system, but now there's a lot more fast traveling capability. I do remember that being a change after release. I just got hit for like 75 there. But yeah, Wizard of Legend, the one thing that I know I didn't love about it was like the replayability factor, is that once you don't, what am I trying to say here? It gets a little samey after a while because the earth area, it looks all green and lovely and lush. The fire area looks exactly the same. The layout of the levels are gonna be exactly the same. There's gonna be pits, there's gonna be walls, you know, it's just a retexture. And for the most part, the enemies are retextures as well, except for the fact that they have themed spells. So earth spells here, fire spells there. Now, of course, that makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but everything just kind of blurs together after a while. The game gets a little long in the tooth. That's not the right expression. Signature charge stays active until used. Summons a sprite. Increases all damage for every enemy defeated. Lose effectiveness when taking damage. Releases a burst of lightning when taking damage. Sprite that poisons. Okay. I have a poison freezing sprite now. We can teleport back. And if we look at the map, which is I don't know what the map button is. It's not tab. Why is this game running at 446 frames per second? 5% sale. I think it's actually more than that. I don't know how to open the map. You know what? Key config map T. That seems like something I would do. It does say it in the bottom. You're right. Every floor has a mini boss. This is the mini boss of this floor here. This jerk can probably hit you real tough if you let him. We healed up, and now we can either continue to explore, which we have done 96% of the exploration, or we could leave. And that's Wizard of Legend. The prime replayability factor here is having different spells that you find or that you start the run with. But I think that the game loses its luster a little bit when you consider that the levels are all just different retextures of one another. They're all gonna have like the same random rooms and the same random encounters and the same random generated map. And the enemies are very samey after a while. Because all of the night enemies shared basic night attacks, but then they also have like night magic themed spells of earth or frost or whatnot, like fire shield or frost shield or earth shield or something. And I think it loses a little bit of replayability from that. But what I do love about Wizard of Legend is the art style, and I love the magical spells because there are so many of them and they offer different play styles. That's where a lot of the prime replayability in a game like this lies, I think. It's actually really, really nice. And I'm curious how this works in Wizard of Legend 2. So why don't we check that out? So let's check out Wizard of Legend 2. Start game, new game. Because this is a 3D game engine instead of a 2D game engine. The one thing that I really like about Wizard of Legend 1 is that the story of the game is that you are just some guy or girl, and you are exploring like a magic museum. When something goes wrong, you're sent back in time, and you have to participate in basically just a friendly wizardly duel. When you fight the bosses, you're not killing them. You just beat them down and they're like, you did a good job, I hope you win. We haven't had a winner around here for a long time. Everyone's very friendly with each other. And the enemies that you're fighting, they're not actually people, they are like magical constructs that are sent to attack you. So it's all like PG. So here, in Wizard of Legend 2, it looks like it's the same thing. You are the Wizard of Legend, you're just doing like a wizardly trial. They're all like, yeah, you can do it, good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wizard of Legend wannabes, welcome to the Trials of Legend. I'm Madame Moulin, your commentator extraordinaire. So grab your Arcana and hold onto your relics. Let the games begin.
There you go. Let the games begin! I don't know if the spiders can actually hurt me. I can step on them. Looks like I have a few different abilities.
Wizard, it's showtime. Teach them a lesson.
A lot more like actual voice acting, which wasn't the case before. One thing I'm gonna do real quick here is I'm actually gonna go to the controls and I'm going to change. I just want everything on the mouse, basically. Okay, it's gonna take me a little bit while to get used to this actually. Because what's actually listed in the bottom is not what they're actually set to. That just makes it even more confusing.
Our wizard has turned the tide of battle with some quick thinking and even quicker spell casting. Looks like those enemies never stood a chance.
We have Dragon Arc, Ice Blast, it's a melee attack, and Fireball. Okay, so hold on. Is that better? Yeah, okay. Now they're actually in order. I don't know why signature is Melee Blast, but there it is. It's like Rift Wizard, but in action, says Ashen Rand. Well, I mean, I think that it's just a lot more, like Wizard of Legend is just a lot more, like direct, like you're in control, right? We have a very like weak dash. We don't have like a magical dash or anything, we just dash. Our ice ability does freeze enemies. Wow! Yes, we have a signature. It'll unpower as we don't use it, because right now it's at half charge, so at some point, you have to use your signature. Yeah, that seemed pretty good. It froze everyone, which was very interesting. It kind of looks like there's an item there. I don't think there is. I don't know why everything's glowing. Tutorial jump scare, yeah.
Our wizard is stepping into the ring. Arcana at
Hello.
the ready. And the sparks are about to fly.
The thing about Wizard of Legend is that ultimately you need to stay moving. Being mobile is where it's at. If you are not moving, if you're not dashing constantly, you are gonna get hit. So if I had any recommendation for anyone playing, it's stay mobile, try not to get surrounded, try to stay away from the enemies. I'm actually surprised that that worked. That boulder attack that they fire, it's freaking instant, man.
Arcalith statues are scattered throughout the floating lands. Those hold the reward for clearing a level. Remember, if you don't touch the Arcalith when you're done, you won't get your reward.
Okay. I mean, that seems obvious to me. 20% more damage to staggered enemies. A water shield that orbits you and negates enemy projectiles. Non-upgraded Arcana deal more damage, enhancing the Arcana will lower its damage back to normal. We'll take water shield. I have become... God. What is the enemy from Hollow Knight? The horrible boss that I hate. We've become him. Shift, hold to teleport to the end room. I assume there's gonna be an animation to that when the game is finished. Okay. I'm assuming that means we're gonna be fighting a lightning boss. This is an earth area. Again, this is probably just the boss that they have done. You can fall off the level.
Even great
God
wizards
damn it.
stumble. Make your next step count.
You can, in fact, just yeet yourself off of the
Challenges
level.
Terminated. A successful combat outing. Now turn to page 332
Oh, no.
in your textbook. Wait, you don't have a textbook. What an egregious oversight.
Okay, he hit for 30. Let's try to not to let Big Rock Man hit me again. We're getting the standard, like, video game-esque tells, though, like big red circles, red lines when the archers are attacking, so it's actually pretty... It's a lot easier in this game to dodge things than it ever was in the first game because there were no real tells. I suppose technically there was with the archers, but not a big one. I picked up something. We have 69 coins, 14 gems. The gems are like the meta upgrade currency. That's how you unlock new starting gear. At least, again, that's how it was in Wizard of Legend 1. Things can definitely be different in Wizard of Legend 2 here. Did I get anything from that? You shoot your Q more often, it's ready with 5 shots after the 3-second cooldown, says Mud. You're right, but we can also wait for it to actually get fully powered up and get the full 10 number of dragon arcs.
A few enterprising merchants have set up shop within the floating lands. A word of warning, wizard. They've all taken a vow of silence to prevent haggling.
More like they just don't have a voice actor or dialogue for them. So we can get another Arcana, I believe, because these do look like Arcana cards. I don't know why this one is X, and I don't know why this one is glowing at me, but I definitely don't have the money regardless. Now, I don't think your dash makes you invulnerable, by the way. I think the dash just makes you move a little bit faster and get out of the way. It's just a positioning tool. You don't even have HP. You just explode. Understood. We can also, I think, dash as we use the dragon arcs, and it cancels it so that it doesn't use all of them. You turn on a dime! You jerk! Get out of here, spider. Spooter man. The basic fireball spell we have here is not particularly good.
Congratulations. Now get ready to do that for every section in the jungle, desert, and castle biomes. After that, you will face Hieronymus in battle and become the new Wizard of Legend. Simple.
This should be HP. Yeah. 50 health, that's not too bad. There was another region over here. We have to fight for this chest, I think. I have no idea when our ultimate gets charged. There's not much of a visual indicator for that. Hopefully I learn the tell though. I will say, like, just looking at what I'm seeing now, it seems like there's way more unit variety because these are actually themed enemies. Maybe not the skeletons, but the plants are at the very least, so theoretically they're not going to appear in the other biomes. Ice Cold Heart, a hand that fights beside you. It wields an ice sword and freezes enemies with each attack. I have a minion. We're fighting Lightning Boss in the Earth biome. I think he's weak to Earth, is the thing. Come on! Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
From your wand, and this elemental could disappear.
I couldn't move for a second there. Okay, he killed me very quickly. That's fine, that's fine. I guess we're gonna be trying again. He murdered me though. I mean, all the bosses, they have...
Shouldn't Hieronymus's mansion be bigger, more magical, and cleaner than this?
Once I've become the Wizard of Legend, I'll scatter magical props all around, and perhaps install a magical disco ball.
To make sure to pick clean them corpses' pockets.
Pockets? How about we focus on where to dump them first? Running out of grave here.
Are these wizards dead?
No, they're all just having a little lie down.
Playing a round of napping the box.
Who do you think you are? Tombstone tricksters? Coffin comedians? From the Bureau of Burial Clowns? Show some respect for the dead.
Dropping like flies they are. How much respect can...
Coatools, why are you here?
Paying respect, gathering the corpses.
How many times must I meticulously specify? The main courtyard is off limits. Return to your task immediately. Welcome to the mansion of Hieronymus the Legend. Banish those negative thoughts. Allow neither fear nor hesitation to undermine your bravery and determination in facing the trials ahead. The trials of legend are long and arduous, but you will surely triumph.
I hate to bring this up now, but can I return for the next round of trials? I don't think I'm ready this time around.
Select one of the registered wizards. This is interesting. We get to pick our descendant. I'm not sure I'm a fan of the, like, comedy aspect they're going for. It's very slapsticky. Burn damage affects an area around the target, the Sunblade. Lightning strikes where your dash ends. The radius of the strike increases with each lightning arcana you have. Pushing 10 enemies into pits will reward you with 200 gold. I don't know if we can actually push enemies into pits. Let's just take, Sunblade? Anyways, what was I saying before? Oh, how it worked in Wizard of Legend 1 is that the bosses would each give you a couple of attacks and then stop for a minute, and that's when you want to hit them when they pause. So I was trying to just go all out. We should probably dodge, then attack him when he stops, if that's the same thing here.
From the observatory, I can see the wizards still wandering in the forest. Wizardry lacks the seriousness it once had. It's merely a game for everyone, and they're not particularly strong at it. Despite all the Arcana cards I've provided in the trials. We need a more exciting show. I need to personally oversee your run and see what's going on.
Welcome to the observatory, where you can witness the trials of legend in action. Each contestant's journey through the mysterious floating lands is projected here for all to see. The very peak of wizardry is on display here. Bold of you to call these fools the peak of wizardry, Nasruddin.
Okay, I'm not entirely... I don't know what this means.
Using this awesome power, we can view...
I don't know what gameplay mechanic this is.
Do you know anything about the last wizard who made it to the end of the trials and disappeared? Oh, crap. My Aunt Mulan is watching me. The apparatus is amazing, right? This beauty is my favorite part of the trials.
I don't know what you're here to do. Okay, let's...
Over
hello?
There is the yard. This, and behind me is the
Training
the
grounds.
Gems are installed throughout.
Echo Gems tells you what everything is. You didn't tell me what this thing is.
Don't knock.
You are not available in the tutorial, probably. Okay, let's just go to the next place. That was fast. Here we can actually test our spells. I remember this much, at least. And we have the same... You're a floating toothbrush. And by toothbrush, I mean paintbrush. You're just a floating thing. Ah, here we go. We can actually change our Arcana. Basic is B, signature is X. So you can actually change your signature. Standard slot is S. So your basic is the one that you have an infinite number of. Standard and signature have cooldowns. The question mark is probably chaos. Each element has unique effects. If we wanted to, we can change our run a little bit here. We have Earth Knuckles, Aeromancer's Grasp. Let's have Earth Knuckles. And signature can be Zephyr Wind. And the standard was pretty good, but I mean, Lightning Spear seems pretty nice. And let's see what they are. So Earth Knuckles is just one huge punch. I kind of like that. I am the Avatar. Our second ability is the Whirl Torrent. That's the signature. Pulls all the enemies together, so maybe we can pull them together and then punch them. And then... we can chase them down a little bit, and then we have the Lightning Spear, which... that seems pretty cool. Okay.
Better Arcana cards means you're not a big peer at practice.
Arcana? You mean Arcana. I think this works pretty well. I don't really like the signature, though, but, you know, it's good enough. And we can change our wardrobe, we can change our robe. We don't need to necessarily do that. I guess I don't know what paint does. That's an Arcana, that's the orb that powers up your ultimate, your signature. I do like that. All right, let's try again.
I'm Nasruddin, your commentator in this run.
Oh no.
So, get set for a whirlwind of magical chaos and unexpected gems.
I don't know what this means. This might mean that's the end, but I don't want to go to the end. I want to explore. I do like having a lightning spear.
Our skirmish, with our wizard emerging triumphant, like a phoenix soaring from the ashes.
I hope there's a way of turning him off at some point.
More like a determined pigeon. Savage.
You know what? Enemies also get slowed when they get hit by the wind. Interesting. You know, that actually seems like a pretty good combo.
Our wizard has
Pull all the enemies together,
magical symphony.
and then you just start punching them.
Adversaries, you know. And behold, the stage is set for a delightful spectacle of spell slinging.
Yeah, I see it. Punch your ass into the pit. Looks like there was slam damage there. I was able to push him up against the wall. What game had like knockbacks and whatnot? Like you push enemies into corners. I don't remember.
All that is gold.
I think it's something I watched Chris play maybe? I don't know.
This stuff is shiny though.
All of the garbage that's on the edge of arenas, they can have money. Small amounts of coins in them, so you might want to consider breaking those.
Seems we've stumbled upon another little skirmish.
This enemy, it looks like you hit me for 50. It looks like he has a stagger bar. Oh my God, you do hit real freaking hard. So we want to try to actually break his shield so we can stagger him. Okay, careful.
Your gold doesn't tarnish. Gold under 18 carats will, though. This is why gemstones are superior.
I should maybe try to dodge through his attacks directly. That might actually help.
Done already.
I took a lot of damage there.
Is
Good
that
lord.
supposed to be tougher than that?
Username says, I finished the early access for Fallen Aces. Pretty fun, albeit short. I might have to check it out then, but it doesn't have a demo, does it? It's just early access. Non-upgraded Arcana do more damage when you get hit. An explosion shocks enemies. Water shield negates projectiles. Would have been nice.
Was made by a wizard who was terribly afraid of pain. He ended up drowning painfully after putting too much power into his water shield.
Okay, moving on. I feel like they spent all of their budget on voice acting. Username says they removed the demo yesterday. Oh, that's unfortunate. And annoying, because I would have picked it up if you had recommended it. Looks like you actually maybe do get some invulnerability.
Remember, gold is
Hard to
not
tell.
edible. Don't eat it.
Also, I keep thinking that we're gonna have more range than we actually do on the wind attack. That, and I keep hitting the wrong button, of course. I evaded damage. I guess that's what you can do with dashing. You can evade. Wrong freaking buttons. I do like our combo though. Okay, it's right click for the wind, not mouse click. Not entirely certain what this is. I'm not entirely certain what this is. You're making things for me to attack or dodge. You're like a mimic. Yes, okay. So you had one thing on the screen. Now you're gonna do a fire attack. Okay, I see. I understand. You're like a weird elemental mimic. You seem real annoying. I regret this.
Chaos gems are the loveliest and most.
That Tuggy says, I always find narrators and roguelites particularly annoying. Now the Arcana have an additional 10% chance to crit. I hope that they do give like a, hey, how much do you want this guy to talk? Adjust the volume of dialogue for game characters and voiceovers. I guess we could turn them all the way down, but we'll leave them on for now. It's an Amazon Prime mimic. Someone's boxes to attack you.
Every one of those, you know.
Oh my god, who cares? When you suck in all the enemies and then smack them, it actually works very well. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use this to good value. But we have 96 HP and we're fighting the boss, right? Okay. I can't move. He hit for 40 with like 2 of those attacks? I mean, these are spells I believe that you can use yourself. There you go. So he's now winded, so we can hit him.
Forward.
That seems real hard. That seems real freaking hard. I'll give it one more go though. Select one. Increase max health. Attack frozen enemies with lightning. Deals massive damage. Hitting enemies with a standard melee arcana heals you. I'm just gonna go for the max health, I think. So I'm noticing a couple of bugs in the game. Whenever a cutscene happens, if you're holding down a movement key, that key will not work temporarily. So I load that boss fight and I'm trying to move, but the key is not moving for a few seconds during the fight. That's why it looks like I'm just like standing still or just moving up and down, because left and right's not working, or vice versa. So that's just a little bug with the movement there. I liked the run though. I kind of want to just try it again. It is pretty fun. Okay. And then, you know, we'll check out there's nothing there. Never mind. All right.
All right, wizard, listen up. I'm your eyes and ears from the observatory this time. Let's see if you can make it without me holding your hand.
I would love to be able to make it without you even talking. Looks like we have another dude. Another dude who wants to talk to us.
For now. But don't get too cocky. There's plenty more challenges ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's like kind of why I'm here, I suppose. I wonder if there's anything there. I don't think so.
Over already? I was just getting into it.
I have to. It's just gonna crank that down to 0. I don't really care for the commentator. I'm supposed to be the commentating one here. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job, right? And the crowd goes wild. Push that guy into a pit. Hell yeah, brother. See, it's much better already, isn't it? I do like this whirlwind punch combo. Pull all the enemies together and then just start punching them. Not a big fan of this enemy, but I'm realizing now this is just like the mini boss from Wizard of Legend 1. It's just a dude you have to fight to get out of the level, right? Okay, I mean, that one was on me. Really want to make sure you go. Is he really giving me a when I was your age? No one cares, old man. All right, we get a reward. After dashing, you have a 100% critical hit chance. The effect has a 5-second cooldown. So for one attack, you can crit. Lightning damage goes up. Critical hit chance of standard Arcana goes up. Let's crit whenever we dash. We get more rewards? Nah, just the one. More crit seems fine. Is the stream dropping frames? It looks like the answer to that question is no, but it doesn't look stuttery on my end. So all I can say is, I don't know. Connie. Connie! It's a llama! So llamas are interesting creatures. If you can pop them in time, they explode, and they give you something. So we have Dragon Arc. Also, fill 5% signature. I don't know what that means, but we have a Dragon Arc, so now I have another ability. I've done it. I have 4 Arcana. And I guess we can buy another one if we had money, which we don't. I can buy health. I don't know how much. These are items, actually. So we can have evading enemy attacks, charge your signature. Non-upgraded Arcana do more damage. Dashing burns them. Hitting burning enemies with standard Arcana creates a fire wave. Burn effects are more powerful. I don't have the ability to do anything there. It was a loot pinata. It was a loot llama. A party llama. And we managed to get some good stuff out of that. Worthwhile, anyways. Whoa, 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 you're not dead. I do like having an additional tool in our tool belts. Is there another enemy? There was another enemy, okay. Oh my God, could you shut up? So there's more HP here for us. That's not the end of the level though. That's just a little bit of random HP. How interesting. The heck is this? Gave us gems, I think? Kind of hoping it would give us... I don't know what I was hoping it would give us, okay? I don't know. Something. I guess it did give us something, technically. That guy is real annoying. The Bone Tower! I do love pushing those guys into a wall, though. Berser King Sandwich? After being hit, there's an opportunity 2 seconds to heal yourself by hitting the enemies. Each hit heals you for 10% of the last damage you received. Okay. So we have a chance to heal by hitting enemies that hit us. Okay, I mean, that seems okay. Seems fine. Because the boss is approaching, I think what I'm gonna do, wish there was a map. I'm gonna go buy an item. It doesn't have to be good, but this is the last chance we have of buying something. This is where, like, you need a teleport system in the game. It's funny to me that that does exist in Wizard of Legend 1, but not the sequel for some reason. At least not yet. So I can buy evading attacks, charge, or signature. There you go. Okay. Okay, that's real hard to dodge, because I can't dodge fast enough for that, my friend. I understand now, though, actually, that you might be able to time your dodges. More specifically, you can, with placement, just avoid it. You hurt way too much, dude. This is just like the fire attack that I had earlier. So we've stunned him momentarily. There's actually a stun bar, I'm realizing, underneath the enemy too. I don't know how to dodge this stuff. Your dodge is not fast enough. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm not entirely certain I understand. His dodge is faster than yours, and it... You know what? You have a run. You're just supposed to run through it. Like, just run, and that gives you the momentum you need to get away from it. Okay, I understand. You're not supposed to use your dodge. Okay. Anyways. There you go. That's the Wizard of Legend 2 demo. It doesn't look like there's actually more to interact with necessarily here. We have gems, but not really anything to spend them on, I feel. Just doing a quick look to see if I'm just missing something mechanically. The apparatus. By utilizing Chaos Gems, it grants a diverse array of permanent buffs during the run. Pit Dash, Vitality Infusion. I don't know if these last only for one run or if they last for every run. I guess these are your every run. Yeah, okay, so this is permanent upgrade progression. So actually, going from 150 health to 300 health is pretty big. Extra dash on pits, starting gold amount. Yeah, worthwhile progression system, it looks like. This is one of those demos where I needed to take a little bit of time afterwards to really sort out my thoughts. Because after playing the Wizard of Legend 2 demo, I'm left feeling underwhelmed. I went into this expecting an epic, spell-slinging roguelite greater than the original experience. But instead, I found myself playing what feels like a generic action game, from the visuals to the combat to the narration. And after taking some time to think about it, I think I now understand why, or at least why this demo feels so different from Wizard of Legend 1. It's because it's actually being made by a different developer. Contingent 99 is not developing this game. Dead Mage Studios is. Now, I know Dead Mage from Children of Morta, a game that I played and greatly enjoyed. But regardless of my opinions on Dead Mage Studios or Children of Morta, Wizard of Legend was a Contingent 99 game. That it's not being made by the same developers is a bit of a disappointment because the resulting product does not really feel like Wizard of Legend. But let's run through some of these specific issues I have. For instance, I dislike the distribution of enemies. Too many times it felt like I would approach an arena and not really fight anything of note because either there's only a couple of enemies in the room or the few enemies that were there ran away into a hallway to meet me, and so the only thing left to discover in the zone is just a lone chest and a dead end. Levels feel empty, which isn't helped by the level layout, which is a mostly linear path with very few branches. The developers seem to be trying to have their cake and eat it too, with occasional branching paths that may lead to a shop, or a chest, or a party llama, but there's no real waypoint system, so backtracking is tedious, and exploration, what little of it there is, doesn't feel rewarding. It may as well be a linear path. In combat, it feels like enemies turn too quickly. You can't really dodge behind the rock golems before they smash, as they will 180 you on a dime. Similar with the gravediggers, who will chuck a boulder at you even if you try to dash out of the way. Or, most annoyingly, those 5 projectile mages who can't be staggered seem to be able to target you up until the moment they fire. Now this may be part of the reason why the game overall feels much slower. Enemies with AoE or ranged attacks are too difficult to dodge around at close range, so you spend most of your time engaging from afar and waiting for your Arcana cooldowns. Or you step in for one of two punches while the enemy's attack is on cooldown and then dip away to avoid the inevitable ranged attack. While playing this demo, I kept experiencing movement bugs, where sometimes I couldn't walk in certain directions. I'm not really sure what the cause is, but it seems to happen reliably on that first boss fight. There is way too much talking in this game. The observers, commentators, whatever you want to call them, just ramble constantly. I'm honestly shocked that anyone at the studio would think that so much frivolous dialogue would be welcomed. But it's not just these observers during runs. Every NPC in this game talks a lot but says very little. And can we talk about the character design for these portraits? They just look so generic. Alethea here looks like she'd be more at home advertising a hidden object game for your phone. The humor in Wizard of Legend 1 was puns and oxymorons, the blinding binoculars, the abhorrent cologne, the paranomasicon. The attempts at humor in Wizard of Legend 2 are bad jokes and cliches that drag on for far too long, like that intro cinematic of the goblin creatures dragging away corpses. It's not even funny, and it's certainly not 2 minutes of the same joke funny. Personally, I don't mind the game's transition from 2D pixels to full 3D models. Whether it's 2D or 3D, the gameplay could be the same, since you're not interacting with the third dimension at all. In contrast, in Risk of Rain 2, transitioning from 2D to 3D massively changes the gameplay, since you have a third dimension to dodge in, instead of just jumping up and down trying to avoid attacks in the original, or the original remake. But not everyone feels the same way, and to some, having to keep your head on a swivel, always being aware of what's around you like you're in a shooter, is not the gameplay they were looking for. I also like that you're fighting bugs, plants, rock golems, skeletons, etc. Fighting these types of regionally appropriate enemies to the forest biome is much better than fighting the same color-swapped Void Knights from the original game. Hopefully, they introduce other enemy types for the other biomes, and it's not just reusing the same plants and the same skeletons for the fire level or the ice level. The music is not energetic enough. It's more of an ambient track. And it doesn't evoke a feeling of action from this action roguelite. And I'm not sure that I like the progression system I'm seeing in Wizard of Legend 2. It was nice in 1 to not have to grind out victories to have a better chance at success. The only things you unlocked were starting Arcana. But you could also find any Arcana during runs, with some small exceptions. But being able to double your HP after spending gems feels far less satisfying than just getting good and winning via your own skill. Is that not also more thematically appropriate for the trials of practicing, getting better, becoming an accomplished wizard through skillful spellcasting, and not just because you put more points into HP? Alright, so yeah, I think the overall design in Wizard of Legend 2 is weaker than that of the first game. In my opinion, there's some changes that need to be made for the game to really stand apart in the currently packed roguelite market. I hope that Dead Mage and Contingent 99 take the feedback from their fans to heart, and I hope enough changes that on release, Wizard of Legend 2 catches my interest. But as of right now, it just doesn't. So for now, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more, check me out on Twitch for when I go live, support the channel at the various links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next Let's Look At.